you were saying to me, you know, I mean, during the match, actually, when we're hanging out on Discord, that she was like so impressive during the group stage, obviously showing that consistency now. Heading into Lotus, however, the rematch I've already teased 2018. Last time I think I mentioned it probably about 10 times today. This potentially could be a very different result now if KC are kind of feeling a little bit mentally impacted, shall we say.
I do think this is the comps that we were expecting, and sort of going back to Suzette in the last map, who I felt like we didn't really have enough chance to talk about. The MVP, she was a pain in their sides, fighting constant multi-frags. Seeing her on that Omen, she's definitely going to be coming in very, very confident, and we know that she knows how to play Omen well. And again, talking about comfortability, with these being the exact same comps that they played previously, and they've got a lot of reps on Lotus, both of these teams. I do think we're in again for an absolute belter of a match.
Or so do I, and very luckily for us, we have a tasty duo to commentate our way through it. It is Mac and Tom.
The business friends back at you again for map 2. What we could business associates, business was it business friend? It was business something. Either way, look, we went over that before, and I'm keen to see exactly what we're going to be able to get out of both these teams. And if history repeats itself and KC managed to scrape their way back into this series, or if Twisted Minds come out of the woodworks, come out of contenders, and just hit this with a 2-0 to knock out the defending champions.
Oh, there you go on our screen right now. KC versus TWIS with the longest map for GC League 2025. Let's beat it. Let's go for 40 rounds.
Yeah,
Come on.
Go again.
If anything, these are rookie numbers. Like I already hold like most of the records in EMEA for the maps. I think me and Mitch have casted the top 3. So why not do it with Game Changers as well?
Yeah, last time they played on this map, it was 20-18 in OT, and Lean almost dropped 40 kills. So let's see if she can put that performance on for us again, or if we're going to get something different this time. KC fighting for full Ruins control. All of A is secure for the moment, and that allows the cheat of the rotate. You can see KC heavy towards B, edging towards C, just starting to figure out exactly what Twisted Minds are going to throw.
That's worth mentioning. 39 kills and lost. It's got to be a little bit of a tilt. I'd be fuming if that was me, but I'm sure she's a slightly better teammate than I am. Already, looking at those early rotations back around the map, KC have got fairly dominant A-site control. Kind of expect them to start gambling players over. The smoke has been set, but Lean looks ready to make a play through it.
Okay, relay bolt forward. Going to be able to try and clear out the back of sight, but they do get the ping with the camera, and that allows Sapphire to open things up and lock down the site. The water is where they need to really worry about. In comes that back site wrap starting to happen, but it's going to be the CTs pushing forward. Remaining. Defense a little bit too strong for Toka to deal with. Decides to
30 seconds left
into the smoke and just play that time down. Ever so more high-low setup for KC. This is looking unwinnable unless Toka hits some insane shots, but won't be given the opportunity. GX peeks out, finds a third for herself, and KC start the second map the same as the first.
I love that. That's just the GX mentality right there. You have the high-low setup, and she goes, nah, I'm swinging. Like, no, she's there. I'm going to peek it anyway, but yeah, the paranoia was just sublime. One of the weirdest fights I think we've ever seen, but with all of the combination of utility coming out from that defensive side, it just left them stuck in the mud, nowhere to go. And again, we talked about this before with the last map, KC's defensive side. A lot of it was about taking early map control and then making the read on where their opponents were going to go and getting there very quickly. That's exactly what they did in that previous round. Not much to talk about in terms of Twisted Minds' investment here. They are only going to have the singular Sheriff, a Frenzy for Suzette, which it's not normally one of those like hero pistols you see purchased, but with how well she's been playing so far throughout the whole stage and today, she can buy what she wants.
Yeah, all 3 of those Twisted Minds members able to combine to catch Glance off, who thought she had the space to run around the corner. But now with a player advantage, an upgrade for Lean with the Bulldog, who is going to fight here at the stairs, but caught on the short side. Wasn't quite ready for the smoke to fade. Didn't get a little more awkward. KC going back in, but the Prowler connects. no Twisted Minds members actually going aggressive off the back of it. No one's actually looking at HCM somehow. She's not managed to get the free kill onto everyone looking at her. Oh my lord, this is just chaos. Twisted Minds, they were in the perfect position to win a Thrifty, but they've just dropped the ball. Unfortunate for them, but KC, they're going to be happy as Larry with the second round.
It's definitely a bit of a weird one. I'm not going to lie with just some of the positions, but yeah, I guess with the weaker weaponry, maybe she was just hoping for a little bit more, or just got caught out herself that somebody would jump onto her head, basically. But I think the most unfortunate bit was just Lean's timing. If she's facing the right way.
It was actually Safia that spun back around and saw her in the corner.
Brutal.
Oh, awkward moments. But Twisted Minds back on the guns now, moving into the third. In KC, they've got a very strong bonus after what was almost a flawless second round.
They were doing quite a bit of damage with these rounds, but conversion wasn't really there. I was going to say GX has gone completely unspotted, but normally so successful with these aggressive plays in the early rounds. This time, just a bit of a whiff. Ends up being an easy opener for Lean. It was mentioned on the desk, getting her online early would be a huge benefit after we saw her wake up in the late game and just be, well, I would say one of the better players. They had quite a few strong performers in that late round, especially I think we saw coming out from Lexa. I was really impressed with her defensive setups.
Able to take the high ground multiple times, but this time it's Glance who has a whole world of information with the sound, but takes a little too long to peek after the cage falls, and Lexa again going to be able to crack things open on the A site. Quick rotate from Safia gets her onto the back of site, but look at the spike, Tom. It's at the C site, and that's a long rotation back for KC, so we'll see what they opt to do once this plant goes down.
30 seconds left.
Not a whole lot to hold on to. Of course, with the amount of credits you'll get going into the next for Anacilia even, you might look at that board and go, oh, she can bring that into the next round, but there really isn't any point. The rifles will be available for every single player, so they can look to try and make this one as costly as possible. Winning it, going to be tough, especially when you look at Lexa's position. Mentioned her on the defensive side, but she's coming in with a pretty late lurk if this ever gets close.
Yeah, it's rough. The only smoke-esque thing that you have is the fast lane, and that's not going to be enough to really get a defuse off. Lean on the back of the site, just looking to keep on inflicting pain. Brief round for her, and just as you mentioned, she's starting to get on the board nice and early. Twisted Minds, almost flawless, but they're going to be happy with that one.
No, that's a decent bonus, especially considering, as I said, like this start could have been very dangerous. A bit of a mischeck, but it's something that probably won't happen again, which is unfortunate for GX because that was a huge opportunity for her to really capitalize on a bit of an error from Twisted Minds. Now they come in, immediately purchasing into that operator for Alkia. It seems like the C control is going to be her point of call.
Tagged up by the horn. Alkia falls out of the danger area. And Twisted Minds just playing for the sand control. Still just allowing Lexa to lurk towards that A side of the map, and is actually going to hang around near her trap wire. If we see GX get a little too frisky with the aggression, then maybe she can get caught off guard, although the off angle here gives me some confidence, but the numbers for Twisted Minds brought here, oh, no one on the trade game? No one close enough to swing. And GX, oh, she's going back for more. Paranoia forward to slow the Twisted Minds aggression. And she's able to dominate the Ruins control. Spots Lean, who gets tagged up by the recon bolt, and things just getting ever so more awkward. Twisted Minds now have no map control to figure out where to go with 40 seconds.
Quick rotation back to B as well for the defense means that even if there was an opening, it's not going to be there for long. And it seemed like a mistake. It seemed like one player well aware of aggression, the other completely clueless walking into the angle. Nightfall is still going to be utilized. It was picked up off the orb just moments ago, but Safia has not been connected onto. She'll now get the reveal that every single player is coming in from this direction, and with 20 seconds left, they've not even got onto the site yet. They need to try and get in and even attempt to plant an immediate stun thrown through, and this is just clean pickings from the side of KC. Even bullets run out of by Lexa in the end. That was definitely an oversight for Twisted Minds on that A site attack, and well, from then on it was chaos.
That was like an overwhelming amount of utility. What do? You're stunned, you're flashed, you're getting revealed, you know you're just going to get shot through the wall if you're in the open. There's just no hope of you winning the round with such little time remaining and so many KC members fully on the rotate. That's what it comes down to when you have that much map control, especially over towards the A side of the map. You can just cheat those numbers towards C. And KC are playing this one like a fiddle, but history could repeat itself. They were off to a good start on Haven, and then Twisted Minds started to figure things out towards the end of the half. So we'll see if that happens again, but DX, once more, Cracker with the openings, finds two. Fault line up, will get stunned and flashed, but fortunately for her, the dark cover is not disrespected, and Twisted Minds just fall back. The only control they have, Tom, is tree, and they're leaving it. So what would you do if you were a professional player in this position, 3v5, where'd you go to?
Not really a good option. You don't know how much control you've lost on the other side, so I guess B is the logical choice, but the rotation is going to be so quick from your opponents that, well, you could already see the crossfire is there ready and waiting. This is another completely telegraphed round, and it got a little bit dicey with the player with a dart in hand, but it won't matter too much in the end. I am surprised, though, with like how much GX has got away with in back-to-back rounds. Like, this is her just running through and then seemingly being fairly oblivious. And don't get me wrong, there is obviously counter-utility being thrown out by KC. It's not just her going for a stroll and finding easy kills, but you have to know that she's going to be aggressing there.
Seems to be a common theme. I'm loving KC's playstyle, but what I'm loving more is the idea that Twisted Minds are going to be able just to turn this one around at any given point. I have so much confidence after the last map, it's crazy.
I think, yeah, definitely giving the coaching staff a little bit of time to talk should help out quite a bit. I think someone, and if you don't know Vladko, who is the head coach of the team, if you ever want to learn like lineups or just like intricate details of the game, like his Twitter is like the place to go and has been for a very, very long time. A very intelligent guy in terms of Valorant. So I'm actually quite excited seeing him in this head coach position, because I believe he's been in that sort of like analyst role in the past, but not necessarily been at that sort of like helm. So I think having him in the background to sort of go to talk to, and I could say the exact same thing for KC over on the other side. Smart7 is someone who's been around the scene for a very long time. But that's sort of the trade-off. You get to talk to your coach. They also get to talk to theirs, but I don't know if Smart7 will have too much to say at this point, with the last two rounds just being GX kind of farming.
Yeah. Just a classic, yep, it's working. Keep doing what you're doing. Expect an adjustment after this tactical. Ooh, double Prowlers invested. And you can see all of that conditioning from KC taking A control has just wasted a lot of this early utility from Twisted Minds. And now finally with Ruins, but just a split second, Alki are going to be able to cut them off from the door. But this time smoked off. Twisted Minds investing that second smoke makes things a little more awkward. Where do you go? What do you do? Are they still going to focus on the A side, or are they going to go the whole way back and take advantage of the space that Lexa has found at C? GX, on the back of sight. Oh, unsuccessful with the wallbang. Arguably, there's 1 point of health, but Lexa's still here.
Yeah, she's breathing. That's about it. The crawling back to the other side of the map. Tail between her legs. I don't know if that is... I think they might even just have to save. Like, we're getting to that point. 20 seconds left on the clock.
Happen again.
And it looks like they're just going to try and run it down in towards the A site. Like, I don't think there is a hope in hell for them to win this round.
Yeah, they're not going to get the sight in time to plan. Safia, just tucked in the corner, is actually paranoid. Will allow them to cross, but the plant isn't coming in time. There's no time. Surely there's no time. It doesn't go down. It doesn't go down.
I can't believe that. By the way, that was Lexa on 1 health that got that kill. She just saw the fadeaway. Like, just a glimpse of it. But, yeah, I obviously you don't want to call for a save, but it got so late into the round. I also, again, want to give credit. Like we mentioned, the coaching staff might not have to say to do anything. It was just a glimpse at the end. But in that moment, I actually do think Smart7 called a completely different round. Like we've seen GX get aggressive on A site the last couple. This round, she was deep on C. Like they completely switched it up, threw the operator on the cross, and it meant that whatever the coaching staff for Twisted Mind was saying, irrelevant now, because they played a completely different round.
Yep, they stayed passive for long enough. Let Twisted Minds just play themselves out of the round by not being able to get on site in time. And now, aggression just around the corner for KC. Paranoia going to be held here at Tree. GX drops it. It's it up. With the door open, maybe there's some danger around the corner, but the Hunter's Fury connects perfectly on a Toka, and Glance opens things up well, although GX... Oh, this is a dangerous game. One that she is confident in winning, although with the door shut, she will be stuck there. Won't be able to get out of dodge. And HTM able to trade. Over towards the middle of the map, though, things start to open up for KC more so. And it's just Lean. Hang on. 1v4. Couple of nice taps to keep them in it, and the spike control is right next to her.
I got spike.
Has the space to pick it up.
Go.
KC, Buddy System, both just staying close.
Gotta go.
And they'll hear her dash towards the A
30
side.
seconds left.
But only 19 points of health here on Lean makes things that much more achievable. Have they cut sound in time? One of them has. Alkia wants to get the info on low health and allow Safia to go for the trade. Trapwire to stop the wrap. Isolated fights a moment, but a missed chance. And Lean now needs to hit the shots, but won't. And again, another clutch goes fleeting. Twisted Minds won't be able to bring it back yet. KC, 6 already.
They've been really impressive. I think as well, like, something that almost just doesn't sit right is when you see a Sova ult on this map, just because it really isn't the most common of plays. Like Fade has been such a mainstay on this map for such an incredibly long time that I almost feel like that early Hunter's Fury was just like, oh, okay, that's something else we now have to try and deal with, and just thrown in after giving up that control. I also think GX, like, it looks like all-out aggression, and she does end up getting caught, but I do believe that's because she had From the Shadows. And she was like, okay, I'm just going to get a kill and then just try and teleport out, but she just didn't do it quite quick enough and just gets wrecked for it. So, unfortunate, but she's still just being a thorn in their side. And, well, look at where she is right now. Same position as we saw before. This time, she doesn't whiff. She gets the shot that she was going for last time and now just fades out of the round already.
Yeah, it feels like the confidence is almost overflowing for KC, given how this map's gone for them.
Cage trigger.
Lexa now just trying to draw attention back towards the A side of the map, dropping a random Cyber Cage, and that'll at least bait the drone out, but Twisted Mind's not close enough to hear it. The information allows KC to keep 2 members on that C site, and GX at the back is going to be tagged up by the Prowler, but do Twisted Minds pick up on the fact that there are 2 members still here, still trying to fight? Like they might. And GX as well with the From the Shadows reinforces the defense, but the door gets triggered. Twisted Minds straight back to B. Defenses starting to swarm, and Safia just waiting for the perfect moment. Gets big info, uses the camera to draw attention away from herself. Good timing on the flash, missed opportunity for Alkia to strike. And Toka wants more space. Okay, Recon Bolt dealt with, pushing, fragging, but I don't think it's going to be enough. 2v1 and GX again. Look at that, 4 kills this time. Starts things off with the opening and then finds a triple off the back of it. My lord. There is almost nothing that Twisted Minds can do to change the narrative here, Tom.
Yeah, she is playing this like a superstar duelist. Like that was her taking the opening pick here. So that's kill number 1. Then she also catches a lurk outside of C. You can kind of see it on the map right now. That's the fight she's about to take. So she catches the player lurking back around. That clears the entire backline for the rest of the team. So you think, okay, they'll probably get the cleanup. Nope. She does everything else as well. Runs back into the site and gets the last couple. Just an insane round from her individually. Bear in mind, she's also calling. So it just really does feel like leading by example is the best way to put it. And well, already a second timeout having to come in from that attack side. You could understand why. 7-1 down. You're on arguably the favored side of this map.
Yeah.
And right now, you've not put a dent in the defense.
Crazy, crazy scenes here on Lotus. And it felt like every one of these hurdles that Casey's gone up against, Twisted Minds get so close, but they just aren't converting it this time. So what I was hoping would happen would be Twisted Minds turns things around and make it 7-5 at the half again. But I don't know if we're going to get that, Tom. I think it's going to be a bit more one-sided this time. Counting chickens, a dangerous thing, but we'll see if that's what we're doing or not. Prowler reveals the location of some KC members, and that angle not necessarily favorable for Alkia. We got the overdrive chasing her right on down, so 2 picks just like that, and a round where you look and think Twisted Mind shouldn't have a chance. You have a pretty good chance. 2-player advantage. GX as well, already holding the rotation in from Lexa. Suset able to frag right back, and now we've got a 3v2. Picks going left, right, and center, and it's Glance to clutch. 1v3, give it an opportunity, and 2 more to find around the corner. Spike already down. Toka and Lean, both just holding guns out. Lean able to swing off the contact, but they'll swing earlier, and it almost was an issue, but Lean gets 3, and finally changes up the story of this one. Twisted Minds getting a second.
A pay safe card Thrifty is what gets it over the line straight after the tactical pause, but let's be real, I don't think that was Blackpool coming out and saying, right, you're just going to run in, you're going to get an opening pick with the Sheriff, and then you're going to use the overdrive and get 3 kills. If it was, he is a genius, but I have a feeling that was more just the individual brilliance of some of the players from this Twisted Mind squad. Now, we've seen it already. I think it was, what, a 7-round streak at the end of the last map to close this out. They can't give the wiggle room to Twisted Mind, otherwise they can turn this into a competitive match. Because thus far, sure, there have been rounds that have been close, but KC have been very dominant.
And this is the crazy thing about the economy. You can see KCR trying to min-max that, but hold that thought. Alkia going forward with that Rolling Thunder, gets full sand control and a little bit of just desserts as well. GX able to crack one off over on the other side of the map and starting to pincer on in Twisted Minds. Feeling like they're not able to deal with it, although trade's looking quite even. Seaside control still there for Alkia, but barely. 22 points of health for her to try and stand tall. Now there's going to be the TP across. Ooh. Twisted Minds still grouped up and hunting. And GX going to be coming on the flank, but it's not even necessary. Huge hold, great lineup, and Alkia saves the day for KC, denying the comeback for Twisted Minds.
You genuinely have to start asking the question in some of these rounds is who's on the attack. Like, just look at where this defensive squad are. They are fighting for bound control. And you see GX actually just takes full A control and is almost fighting for the spawn. Like, they are back in that sort of disrespectful era that we saw at the beginning of Haven, but it is working. And other than a few heroic plays coming through from Twisted Minds, this has been an utterly dominant map. Lean will at least gain some space, but this has been the consistent switch up from KC. You don't know if you're pushing into a solo GX hold, or in this case, 3 players about to push you.
Ugh. And there's just bloody dark covers everywhere, trying to thread info through them, thread the shots as well. The Twisted Minds, you certainly don't back them in a round like this. But maybe there's an opportunity for Toka here. If she expects Glance here in the corner, maybe there was a chance. But Glance just fends him off like a champion. Right. HTM finds it without seed, and again, the chaos just keeps on going.
Yeah, just spam a smoke with a ghost. That's a reasonable thing to do, and get a kill. That's fine. Safia, supportive utility there, but does get caught off. This round's starting to get a little bit more dicey. Bear in mind, it was the pay save card Thrifty that got the second round on the board.
Yeah.
She's now teleported that has given them not really any clue where these players are going to be. They'll hear the steps, and the only thing will be the timing on that door spinning back around. Lexa does at least have the cage, and the spike has made it. But I'm more interested in the position of Suzette. She's got a perfect hold on their position. They're going to be wrapping around. They might not expect her to be here, but they are being diligent in their choices. It's a quick trade at least to keep it to just one.
Twisted Minds have info on both players. One was at the switch and one was coming waterfall, but where do they go from here? Fault line to try and buy some space, and GX as well. Just looking for it. As you mentioned, Rolling Thunder is there. It's invested, and it has connected onto GX, but they still need to find Anasilia, who's come in from waterfall, and now in the 2v1, surely Twisted Minds find a third. Surely there is no way that GX does it again, right? She knows she's got the read. HTM, though, holds her off, and that's going to be yet another pay safe card. Thrifty to get the third on the board for Twisted Minds.
Last round before the switch.
I want to see the scoreboard. Okay, I was good for a second. I was thinking, does Hayden the Most have more kills with a ghost than with? Because just they've been so quiet so far this game, but like, this was absurd. Like just straight up spam. There's no reveal. There was nothing else there. Suzette then gets 2 with the Sheriff here as well.
One enemy remains.
They definitely have more rounds in Thrifties than they do currently with rifles, which, hey, if you were winning rifle rounds, that would be fine, but they now need to do something with it. 2 of the last 3. Weaponry a bit awkward, but I'm seeing GX with a judge in hand, and I feel like somehow she's about to do some serious damage.
Well, let's see. She's closing the space between her and Lexa, who doesn't want to go out of earshot, of course, of a potential shrouded step over that trip. But it's Seaside that they have to be worried about. Twisted Minds think about going right on in here. Nightfall, I don't think it's connected at all, but it's Alkia to try and do it from behind. And she gets 1, but the flank superiorly ineffective. That spike is still there. Sand Control still aware. And Sapphire from the back of sight is not going to get a connection with the tripwire this time. Camera dealt with, but we'll just go for the fight anyway. Has that neural depth, and with the pick, surely can spam it, but goes for a little bit too much, and Greed, unfortunately, might have lost this one for Twisted. Lexa, 1v3. 2 remaining, but can't track the first. Lance jumping across the line to make it 9-3 at the half.
Not ready yet.
Yeah, really solid defensive side. A few blips versus the Thrifties that ended up making it maybe a little bit more competitive, which is surprising. But after GX was so impeccable, you'd hope that this time they'll close it out. We'll find out after the break.
I know
Last player standing.
Maya.
You're never gonna break me. All the years I've known in my heart, all the fears are falling apart. Oh, you're alright. Gonna fight till the end of the world. Gonna make it on my own. Deep in my soul, my brave wild heart.
A familiar first half, at least with how things started, but KC, they have a huge lead moving into the attack side, and we'll see if they are going to be able to convert their map pick, because if they do, we're going all the way to Split to see how these teams fare over there. But for now, Twisted Minds are going to be chasing things down, and we'll see if they do what they do best, which is usually get aggressive, and we'll see if that's going to be happening here over towards C.
I do wonder if some point we're going to get like a Vania scenario where KC just decide to put GX on the duelist for a little bit, because she's been so unbelievably aggressive with this Omen thus far. Alkia, though, it's going to be that point of contact. Lean just looking to try and battle and brawl. Already does manage one, but there isn't a follow-up. didn't have any support versus the full squad of KC. The rest just sitting back passive.
Yeah, I'm looking at Zafia, who has threaded the needle perfectly to Waterfall. There was only a moment while we had Toka off that line, but look how deep she is in behind enemy lines. Lovely shots though, Toka and Suzette, both finding the ones coming at the front side. And now it's just going to be Anasilia to try and hold that spike down, but Zafia given a moment to strike, and now they're going to rotate back into the numbers. 2 players for Twisted Minds, still at sand, still at sea, and they're just trying to figure out exactly where Lexa is. Obviously, they spotted her, and they're going to try to run her down. She's solo, just tucked in the corner. And KC committing to the plan.
Cage triggered.
Into a winnable scenario. A few very low players, HTM especially, tagged within inches of her life. They try and re-aggress though. And while Lexa has managed to give them that much needed lifeline, we spoke about the comeback in the last map. Well, they only lost 3 rounds when it came to their defensive side, and 2 of them with a pistol and second. So winning a pistol, Mac, maybe they'll only lose 1 this time.
Let's see if they can do it.
Probably
I was
not.
worried for a moment. How come every single one of these rounds is just so chaotic? Like, nothing makes sense. It's like the mid-round calling is almost perfect, but then KC's calling just makes things awkward, and Twisted Minds, it's just chaos. It's utter chaos here, and I'm thriving in it. I love it.
Well, you'd like me, haven't you? You casted a fair amount of Asian Counter-Strike, so you should be very much used to this.
Yeah, that's true.
Nothing will beat that level of chaos, though.
I'd argue even, the amount of Oceanic Valorant I've casted has also been quite imperfect. So it's given similar vibes, round to round. But this time we got KC full domination on B, and Twisted Minds just setting up for a retake.
Spike planted.
This is AC coming in with an investment. Normally you're not going to see these sort of purchases, but Stinger has started to grow in popularity, especially across the pond. That is a phenomenal paranoia. Left so many people blind. Suzette at least will be able to get 1 and a second. That Bulldog doing damage. The trade's coming back and forth though, and leaves it only on to Toka, and she can't do anything. That comeback was as short-lived as it ever could have been, as KC find an immediate response with a force buy.
Oh, and you don't have a lot of wiggle room to make any more mistakes, so you kind of have to eco. That move from GX again was phenomenal. As you mentioned, the paranoia hitting 3 there. Forced them all to line up as well. You could have seen like a 3-player spray down with the Stinger, which you wouldn't see too often, but we almost got it there. And again, Twisted Minds, this time going aggressive, trying to hedge the bets, play the numbers, and it's going to be towards the A site. As soon as this is spotted by GX, she was going to call for everyone just to smack it at C. And there you go.
Rolling Thunder getting dangerously close, and the aggression has definitely been spotted. Zafia even holding the flank in a Nat style, having that sniper in hand. It makes it so devastatingly difficult to ever challenge against her. All that Twister can really hope for here is a little bit of extra damage. Like, winning this round should be impossible.
Okay, fault line gives them an opportunity. Lance is here to try and trade. We'll see if her and GX are able to lock it in. Try to step back to safety, but goes back for seconds. And again, is just going to be able to cut the numbers of Twisted Minds. And I don't see HTM winning this one. Camera as well to clear the corner. Info, but HTM has fallen to the back. And Anasilia grabs that one with open arms. 4 alive here. The force buy in that second round of the half has almost nailed the coffin of Twisted Minds here. At least their fate on Lotus.
I imagine that obviously the winner of this game goes on to play G2 Gozen. The loser is out of this stage of EMEA. And I imagine G2 Gozen maybe watching on was sat there after map 1 and going, you know what? If we're facing Twisted Minds, we're happy, or if we're facing a weaker version of KC, we're happy as well. They might be seeing the way GX is playing and maybe changing their mind a little. Lean, though, is going to put her in the dirt. Like, that's the main thing. You've got rid of the biggest danger so far, which is the Omen.
Cage triggered.
Which, funnily enough, is the same for G2.
It's crazy that.
Cage triggered.
Both teams so similar in a lot of their approaches as well. We'll see if Lexa can Odin up the Storm from the back of sight. Good for the first. Spacing from KC, not enabling a trade, but there is going to be plenty of space to get this one planted. Rolling Thunder online if necessary, and it might just be in the 2v4. Neural Theft, giving the info on both those KC members. It will be a little down to the timing, but there goes the Rolling Thunder to buy some extra time. Flashpoint stops the aggression, and that stun is going to dissipate on all of these defenders, flooding back into the site, but they're going to all take a similar angle. Lexa gets it done eventually. Plenty of bullets in that magazine, and it's 4 on the retake. Beautifully done, and Twisted Minds. They don't want to finish Lotus just yet. 3 alive gives them a pretty good Vitom moving into the 17th.
I'll say fair play to Lexa by being able to do so much with it. Like, the backside Odin, fair enough. Like, there's a lot of spammable walls and positions that can be quite awkward, but when it gets to the retake, that's normally where you expect that gun to kind of suck, but she was very quick on finding trades and just the wall bag. Yeah, ridiculous.
It's a spray transfer onto the second, onto the 4th kill. Ah. Mitch may be having a field day right now, but he's on vacation. In a very sandy, visited area. Yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief.
Yeah. That one was interesting. I didn't expect to see anybody stick that. I thought it would just be for information, but fair play, GX. You are playing with more confidence than any player I've ever seen. And it is only a 1-player disadvantage. They're going to try and re-aggress.
Okay. Reset. Ooh, whiffs the spray as Alkia finds both those members coming in from the back of sight. And now it's just up to Toka to try and trade through here. Gets the first 3 for the round, but it's not enough. And KC have a lot of map points to play with here to take us all the way to split to decide this matchup.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate fact for this Twisted Minds roster is you managed to deal with one of the Turkish threats. Unfortunately, there was a second Turkish threat that they didn't deal with. Zalkia just sliding through. And while 12 and 5, 7 rounds in a row, we've seen it, but this map doesn't feel much like the last one at all.
If Lotus gets rounded out, or if Twisted Minds can dig up some kind of last-minute resurgence. Never count them out. Already starting to send the members towards the A site.
Deploying drone.
And we will have a 4v3, maybe even a 5v3 over here. And I'm looking at Suset's position. If she can hit a good timing on a Paranoia, if the dark cover is disrespected, then maybe there's a world, but Lean needed that shot. And just with the judge, all the rotation back, maybe, just maybe there's an opportunity, but she swung into a long line, and Jeeks has put it down. 1 player still remaining for Twisted Minds over towards the B side, but with the Neural Theft, they have every bit of information they could need and more. And it's a 3v4, a player disadvantage for Twisted Minds on the retake.
Need this kill. They need to find out here. Dodges the flash, but it will be hated the most that's able to find that pick off. 3 players now pushing back through that same angle. GX in position, ready and waiting. First goes away and now has that extra little line of support. But guess what? She didn't even need it. Another 4K to add to the growing collection. And GX as well. The mantle that pushes KC to a dominant victory.
Was that 18 rounds? I cannot wait to see the scoreboard at the end of this one for KC, for GX in particular. Just doing so much and more. Extended down the smokes, calling up a storm, and then fragging up a storm as well. This match is certainly not done, but it is providing every bit of entertainment on a beautiful Sunday afternoon that you could ask for.